Late to starting, but better late than ever, they say. Hello, everybody. Welcome to RPL Tier 2 Season 18. We are at Bahrain. I might have had my headset muted, so we're gonna formally start the stream here. It is round 8 here in Tier 2, and in a bit of a anticlimactic finish to the Drivers' Championship. As, with Josh433 and Mentoki not showing up today, it is basically locked in Laro Fusion as your Drivers' Champion. Yeah. Unfortunate end to the championship, but congratulations to Fusion for winning it all. He's had a fantastic season, and it is well-deserved. See if there's any other drivers doing hot laps right now. There is not a single one. They're all going on their out laps now. Yeah, I had my headset muted for about the last 5-10 minutes, so unfortunate, but oh well. We'll go ahead and properly commentate these final runs of qualifying. And we'll see who can slap it on pole here. At the moment, it is Maxwell at the top of the board. Fusion second. JTK driving for Mercedes today. He's third. Jack MS fourth for Ferrari. Alan J fifth. Penguin sixth. Lucas Rasmussen in P7. Track Racer P8. SV ninth. And Dylan rounding out the top 10. Jack Miles 11th. Wilson 12th. Ardell. Mally. Armchair Bike. Yavas. Maddie. Pavlizin, haven't seen that name before, Ryan Ocon, and Meltz rounding out the grid. But we're about to witness the final runs of qualifying here, all starting with Maxwell in the McLaren. Let's see what he can do. Can he find a time to go even faster than a 26.8? Let's see what he's capable of. Heavy braking into turn 1. Clean as you like for Maxwell there through the first couple corners. Let's see what he can do into turn 4 here. Slight front lockup, third gear, getting a little bit of that inside curb, using all of the exit. Has he found time? Yes, he has. He's found 300ths. Good time in the first sector for Maxwell. Another small front lockup heading into turn 7. Or turn 8, but double left-hander 9 and 10. Clean as you like for Maxwell here. Let's see how much more time he can find. DRS straight. Wide open. 8th gear. Downshifts to 4th. All over the apex. Great line there from Maxwell. This is looking to be a pretty solid lap here. And he has found 2/10. And it shows. He is absolutely flying out there. Coming through the final couple corners now. This is going to be an absolute gauntlet from Aaron Maxwell. Bit of a front lock up into the final corner, but that is a clean line coming out. And now, to the line, Maxwell does a 26.5. That is an insane lap time. Next card across the line is Yavas. Let's see what he can do. 28.7, improves by 1 millisecond. Next to some of the Ferraris here, we got Jack MS coming across the line. Can he get ahead of JTK? No, he cannot. He stays 4th. But he did find a little bit of time. Alan J actually goes 4th fastest. He's found time of his own. Have a look at Torn Penguin now. Can he make his way up? He's down through 2 sectors, and he's only found 300ths. Now, Laro Fusion, who is not on a lap. He's backed off, and that'll be his qualifying done. How about Lucas Rasmussen? He's 2/10 up. Can he get himself up into the top half of the field, into the top 5 maybe? Trap Racer's gone up to P7, and Rasmussen takes that P7 back. It's going to be P7 for him. Trap Racer in 8th, Wilson only in 9th, SV 10th, Jack 11th. Here comes Dylan. He stays in 12th, and that will do it for qualifying here at Bahrain. An absolutely dominant performance by Maxwell there in qualifying. A 26.5, good enough for pole position by 3/10 over teammate Laro Fusion. JTK 3rd, Alan J 4th, Jack MS 5th, Penguin 6th, Lucas Rasmussen 7th, Tret Racer 8th, Wilson 9th, SV rounding out the top 10, a field spread of 5.3 seconds. Unreal. And that is gonna do it for qualifying. Of course, the newly crowned champion, Laurel Fusion, will be starting in second place here. Once again, McLaren 1-2. And once again, McLaren absolutely perfect in qualifying. 8 races, 8 pole positions. They are looking at a perfect season in terms of qualifying, which is insane. But we'll have a look and see what our drivers decide to pick for strategies. I don't expect to see any soft tires here. One stop is certainly possible around Bahrain. A bit tricky, but somebody's readied up early, and we're about to find out who's going to win this race in 5 lights time. It is time to bring the action here in Bahrain. Even Stevens from the 2 McLarens up front. Maxwell ahead of Fusion. Big crash in the back. That's Meltz. He's already gone off into turn 1. It's side by side between the 2 McLarens. Side by side for 3rd. It's JTK and Jack MS. It's Maxwell ahead of Fusion. Jack up to 3rd. JTK down to 4th. And they bang wheels going down the straight. Into turn 4. Fusion on the inside of Maxwell. Jack MS trying to hang it around the outside of JTK. Still wheel to wheel between the front runners. And it's JTK and Jack still going at it. And JTK barely holds on to 3rd place ahead of the Ferrari. And now the Ferrari's going to go wheel to wheel. Coming through the first couple corners. JTK spins out. Around goes JTK. And we have a VSC. And Jack MS has been given a 10-second penalty for a collision with JTK. That is not what you want to see. Horrible start for JTK. Not what he would have wanted at all. And Jack, he made contact with JTK heading into turn 8, and he has paid the price as the game gives him a 10-second penalty. He is on soft tires, by the way. That's almost guaranteed a 2-stop. And oh geez, Allen almost brake-checking his teammate, Jack MS. We'll have a look at tires here. Mostly mediums. Green flag, back in the air. We're racing again. Lucas Rasmussen looking very racy in the back in P7, trying to get by Torn Penguin. But lap 1 is going to be completed. Sideways is Yavaz in P10. He's holding the last points-paying position. Fusion, looking for a move on his teammate, will not pull it off. Here comes Lucas Rasmussen, also looking for a move. Yavaz down the inside of Rex Dillon. Yavaz holding on to the place. He'll stay in P10 for the time being as they continue to scrap this one out. The 2 Ferraris looking like they're going to go wheel-to-wheel for a second. They all keep it clean. On the VSC restart, side by side towards the back. That is Rasmussen in the background once again looking for a move. Can't get it done. Give it up for Tret Racer, P5 for Williams. Great start for him. He has been on a tear since he rejoined RPL. A top 6 last time out in China. And Dylan's had a moment. He's lost multiple places. He has lost out to Armchair and SV. Multiple places lost. Not what he would have wanted. As he tries to get those spots back. DRS is enabled, so he'll have that assisted. But the DRS trade is gonna put a thorn in his side there. Back towards the front. It's the 2 McLarens running away with it. 1 and 2 once again, and a 1.5 second gap to the cars behind. The McLarens tried to pull off this sort of strategy in last season's Bahrain Grand Prix, but a late race safety car really put it in for them, as it ended up being Ferrari taking the win, and it's going to be Fusion taking the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Fusion gets to the inside, and he takes first place. Jack MS also overtakes Alan J. Lucas Rasmussen overtakes Torren Penguin. Overtakes galore here on lap 3 of this race. Maxwell back up front, though, has taken the lead back from Laro Fusion. Maxwell back on top, fresh from his win in Singapore 2 weeks ago. He is looking to get his second win of the season. With second and third in the championship not showing up today, that is all the chance for Maxwell to finish second in this championship entirely. In the battle for third, though, we got Jack, Alan J, and Strat Racer fighting this one out. Of course, Strat Racer on hard tires. He's playing the long game here. Maddie overtakes Ryan for P18 as they squabble at the back. No real moves being made here, but we're going to have JTK overtaking Dylan. That is for 13th. Dylan trying to have, or not Dylan, JTK having a, he's going to need a big recovery drive here. He's had a bit of a stinker after getting spun round on lap 1. It's going to be a long day for him, stuck in the back of this train. Alan J, right on the back of his teammate. Meltz has gone off in turn 4. Nice. And I don't know what's going on with him, but we see that Alan J breezes by his teammate up into third place. The Ferraris swapping positions once again as Jack, on the only one on soft tires, pretty much forced to a two-step strategy. Towards the back, Ardell and Jack Miles battling this one out. Ardell getting ahead. To the inside goes Jack Miles, and Jack is gonna be through. I think he should be. They're gonna go side by side through turn 4, though. Jack showing Ardell the door, and he stays in P15. And have a look at the Sauber of Pavlison trying to go for a move. And meanwhile, JTK overtook SV for P12. Lots of battles happening here towards the back of the field and in the midfield throughout this race. But we're only on lap 4. There is a long way to go here. As we watch the two McLarens of Maxwell and Fusion still trying to drive away with this one. Allen is 2 seconds back. Jack MS is trying to hold on to the DRS of his teammate. We don't know how long he'll be able to hold on to that, though, especially being on soft tires. Towards the back, Pavlison's gone off, and he has spun out of turn 12. Pavlison goes for a spin in what I think is his first RPL race. Unfortunate for him, but fortunate for Fusion. He's gone past Maxwell. Back into the lead goes Fusion of this race, but we saw it the first time. Fusion immediately lost it on this run up to turn 4. Is it about to happen again? Maxwell is 2/10 back. He's 1/10 back. He's alongside and ahead. Maxwell, for the second time of asking, retakes a lead, but they're side by side coming through turn 6. Here comes Maxwell, and he somehow pulled the move off. Fantastic move. Here comes Fusion on the inside. The two McLarens giving it absolutely everything at the front of this field. Side by side. Banging wheels coming through turns 9 and 10. Maxwell and Fusion giving it everything. Side by side still at the front of this field. Neither car gets DRS. And Fusion finally takes the lead of this race. Incredible battling at the front of this field. And with all that battling, they still only lost a couple tenths, maybe half a second, to Alan J, who's now 1.7 back. Off goes Meltz in the background. These guys are hoping for more of that McLaren battling to keep themselves in the mix for a potential race win. That huge scrap has really costed them quite a bit of time here. But I am not complaining. That is some fantastic driving from both of those McLarens. And here comes Maxwell, having a look again. Thinks better of it in turn 1. But he is right on the back of Fusion. The ERS situation is a lot better. JTK has got past Malley for P9, but we continue to watch this battle between the two McLarens. Side by side into turn 4. Maxwell on the outside, Fusion on the inside. They go wheel to wheel through 5 and 6 once again, but this time Maxwell comes out better. He retakes the lead in the chrome McLaren. Fusion in the solid orange and black. What incredible battling we have seen at the start of this race. Incredible. Now we can finally have a look at some of our battles towards the back while we have a second to breathe. We got Armchair Bike and SV, 3/10 between those two. These guys still in a bit of a points battle here. Mally in P10. He has a 7/10 gap to Armchair. Great to see Mally in the field again. Haven't seen him race in a while. I believe he did a race earlier this season as well. So great to see him giving it everything. Back up front. What do you know? It's the two McLarens once again, and Allen is getting closer and closer to them. Gap 1.2. Remember, it was around 2.1 seconds before the battling started, and now it is 2/10, and it's about to be 1/10, and Fusion should be able to easily get past Maxwell this time, and he gets the move done before we even get to turn 1. Fusion back ahead of Maxwell. And SV and Armchair Bike wheel to wheel. SV getting ahead of the Haas. Aston now run P10 and P11 on the road. Decent start for them today. And at the moment, they will be getting 1 point for their troubles. And have a look at this from Trat Racer. He's getting closer and closer to Jack MS. Could be looking for a move for P4 here for Williams. What a day that would be for Trat Racer. Absolutely incredible. But now, Alan J is only 1.1 seconds away from the DRS of these guys. SV, also on the back of teammate Melly41. This could be looking very good for him. To try and get himself a couple points here. And if we look at the Constructors' Championship, Aston Martin are in a battle with Williams and Alpine right now for P8 in the championship. And this actually goes all the way up to P5. Fifth currently belongs to Haas with 19 points to their name. Meltz has retired from the session here on lap 7. He is our first DNF of the day. But Williams on for a potential P5 right now. Of course, a lot of laps to go, but a P5 at this stage for Williams would be absolutely massive in terms of the championship. That would easily propel them up to 5th in this championship. And now Jack MS looking defensive. Bit of weaving, but Trat Racer breezes by the Ferrari. Up into 4th place goes Trat Racer. And how about this from Lucas Rasmussen? Down the inside, contact made between the two of them. And a bit more contact between Penguin and Rasmussen as well. That was a bit clumsy from Lucas Rasmussen. He's almost lost a place, and I think he's about to lose a place now. To the inside goes Torn Penguin, looking for a move. And this might be the place for the Red Bull. They go side by side. Rasmussen, he still comes out better. Incredible battling here in the opening stages of the Bahrain Grand Prix. We're on lap 8, and these guys have been battling like it's the last lap every single time. Incredible stuff here. The two McLarens have stopped their squabbling to try to build a gap here to Alan J. The gap went from 1.1 to 1.7 seconds, so great job from them. And Trat Racer only 6/10 away from Allen. Of course, at this point, those hard tires are going to be the better tire than the medium, regardless of what car you're in. But Trat Racer could be looking at sitting on the podium for Williams today here in Tier 3. They haven't sat on the podium since, I believe, Owen took his fantastic podium for Williams at Saudi Arabia in, I think it was season 12. But into the pits comes Jack and barely keeps it from going speeding. Lucas Rasmussen, I thought he was going to pit as well, but decided not to. Trat Racer only 7/10 away. So Jack MS, the only car in. Of course, those soft tires, he simply had to pit, but he's going to get quite a nice undercut on the drivers around him. So this could actually play into his hands. But going 20 plus laps on a set of hard tires seems nigh on impossible. But you never know. As Lero Fusion continues to lead Maxwell around. Gap 2.2 seconds. Pavelson gets a 3-second penalty for track limits. He currently sits 2 seconds behind Ryan Ocon in P18. him and Yava's only drivers with penalties, and Jack MS has also served his 10-second penalty from the collision with JTK on lap 1. So he won't have to worry about that being added to his race time, but consider his race pretty much ruined having to wait 10 seconds in the pits. But Maxo trying to get the better of Fusion. The ERS situation looks a little bit better for Maxel, but it is about the same as we go into the final couple corners now. Turns 15 and 16. Or 14 and 15, I don't even know. But Maxel using the DRS, trying to gain all the time, but he's going to be a little bit too far away. Not enough momentum to go for the lead of this race. He'll sit behind. Let's have a look at Torn Penguin, running very close to Lucas Rasmussen, now ahead of Lucas Rasmussen. Up into 5th place goes Torn Penguin as the two Red Bulls try to gang up on the Mercedes driver, the leading Mercedes of this race so far. But JTK, great recovery to already be back in 8th place. He was as low as about 16th earlier on. A couple more pit stops, by the way. Armchair Bike has pitted, along has Dylan. So they'll drop to the back of the field. But great recovery from JTK so far. SV and Mally in all the chaos did switch places at one point. Don't think I caught that. But SV up to 9th, Mally down to 10th. Alan J still trying to hold off Trap Racer. Should be pretty easy for him. Ferrari versus Williams. Williams having their best run of the season so far. But of course with the pit stop cycle pretty much beginning now, this could completely shake things up throughout the field. And I also wonder which McLaren blinks first, because that undercut, especially around Bahrain, is very, very powerful. So whoever pits first is going to have a big gap. It's not going to be Fusion. It's not going to be Maxwell. They both stay out, which means Alan J blinks first. Into the pits he goes. Alan blinks first of the top 3. He pits, which leaves Trap Racer in 3rd place for Williams, which once these pit cycles are done, he might be leading this race. Meanwhile, Wilson trying to get closer to Lucas Rasmussen, the 2 championship protagonists of Tier 3 a season ago, might be giving us a good old fight here in the top 5 of Tier 2 as well. Great to see these guys running up front in top cars in a higher tier than they were before. Love to see it. Ala J comes out in 11th. Has a big gap to the cars behind him. Dylan and Yavas going wheel to wheel at the back of the field. And that is Dylan getting ahead of Yavas, who is just pitted. But we still shift our focus to the McLarens. Only 2/10 between the two of them. And you gotta wonder, they have to be pitting soon here. They cannot make those mediums last forever. Who will blink first between the top 2 of this race? Because most likely whoever blinks first could be winning this race. As we come into the final 2 corners here. The final corner, then the actual final corner is just that little kink on the exit. Off the road goes Maxwell. Not what he would have wanted. But they stay out another lap. They go on to lap 12 of this race. Fusion and Maxwell still leading the way. And into the pits comes JTK. Can't do it anymore on those medium tires. He pits from P7. SV stays out. Mally staying out. Jack staying out as well. So they're going to continue to go on these aging medium tires. Now 11 laps on them. And Ala J comes out well ahead of JTK. JTK is going to come out behind the Sauber of Maddie, so that will put a bit of a thorn in his side. Jack Miles and Mally 41 temporarily going wheel to wheel, but Jack easily breezing ahead of Mally 41 there. But here we go. Fusion, Maxwell still pulling away 2 seconds from Trap Racer at the moment, who's 2.4 seconds ahead of Torn Penguin. Trap Racer has been driving the rails off of that Williams, who is now reeling in the McLarens. 1.9 seconds, 1.8 seconds. Driving the wheels off the Williams, despite having the better tires. It is still an incredible sight to see. Do either McLaren blink here on lap 12? And that is Fusion coming in, which means Maxwell has to stay out another lap. Into the pits comes Fusion. We'll see where he comes out, as opposed to Alan J, who has got a multiple lap undercut here. Lucas Rasmussen pits, as does Wilson. SV will stay out on the hard tires, as does Jack. Valley pits. But here we go. Where does Fusion come out? As opposed to Alan J. Here we go. This could be very close between Alan and Fusion. We're going to go wheel to wheel through turn 1 here. Alan with the tires fully warmed up. Fusion on cold tires. This could be a battle here. DRS enabled for Alan J. He's going to look for the outside move here. Into turn 4. Can he get it done? Inside lockup from Blaireau Fusion. Almost pushing Alan off the track he is. But here we go. Around the outside. Alan can't do it. Fusion barely holds on to the place. Alan was looking for a move down the inside of turn 8. Couldn't get it done. But now we're going wheel to wheel again. Alan on the outside. Backs off and looks to the inside. Can't get it done. All this defensive driving. Absolutely hurting Fusion's undercut on teammate Maxwell. This is not what he would have wanted. But luckily for him, he has stayed ahead of the Ferrari driver. Ferrari are still looking for their second win of the season. They got the win in Australia, the opening round of the season, as Maxwell comes into the pits from the lead, which means Strat Racer now leads the Bahrain Grand Prix. But we continue to watch the battle between Fusion and Alan. Alan could be looking for a move for the net lead of this race, and he's got much better ERS than Fusion does, and the straight line speed is insane. Alan gets the place, and they'll both fly by Maxwell exiting the pits, which means Alan J, at least for now, holds the lead of this race. Maxwell comes out of the pits just behind Fusion in P6. You can tell that the undercut did not work for Fusion, really, because he's come out behind Alan. Absolute scenes here. And how about this battle? Rasmussen, Wilson, and JTK are going to be giving it everything. This is for net P4 at the moment. So Rasmussen trying to hold the place, got very close to the track limits there. And even after taking a 10-second penalty, Jack MS is only 4 seconds back, but on much older hard tires, it's going to be a struggle for him to try and make his way through the field, or at least catch up to JTK. Of course, with 3-lap older tires, you've got to think that is not doable. But we watch Alan J and the 2 McLarens for the net lead of this race. But towards the back, we got a bit of wheel-to-wheel action. Jack Miles going past Dylan. Jack on the medium tire. It'll be interesting to see if he can take that tire to the end of the race. I don't know. That is a 14 or 15 lap stint on mediums, which nobody was able to do on their starting set of mediums, so I don't know if Jack will be able to pull that off. But looks like Jack's going to go for another move here, down the inside of Pavlizin, and through. Easy move for the V-Carb. And he'll go up into 12th place. SV still yet to make a pit stop. Melly41 has pitted, and he's down in 16th now. Dylan and Yavas both getting a nice undercut on Mally, and Jack as well, who is trying to fight his way into the points. But these guys will all get a nice undercut on SV. Here's a bit of a move here, and Dylan had a huge lick of oversteer entering turn 4, so he won't get the place. Mally staying ahead of Yavas as well. Some fun scrapping there in the lower reaches of the midfield. JTK, though, he is trying to find a way past Wilson to get up into 8th place. Mercedes versus Red Bull here. And in the grand scheme of the championship, it is a 29-point gap between Mercedes and Red Bull, and it's Mercedes ahead of the Milton Keynes-based team. And Dylan, this time, he does get past Pavlison without locking the rear tires. Easy move for him, but we go back to this battle between the two Mercs and Wilson. Doesn't look like anything's going to be done here. Could see a move for the net lead here. Fusion getting closer with all the time. To the inside goes Laro Fusion. Big lockup into turn one. He's going to go to the outside now is Alan J. Bit loosey-goosey through turn two. And here comes Alan with the DRS and the overspeed. Alan holding on to the lead. At least the net lead at that as they catch SV. Alan J takes fourth. Back from Laurel Fusion. Incredible battling there. Malley getting ahead of Pavlison for P14. Pavlison has yet to stop, so he's going to drop to last place, and that penalty doesn't help his chances at all. And Yavas might be looking for a move. No, he is not. We'll head back to this battle up front. Maxwell now closer than ever to his teammate, and there goes Yavas getting past Pavlison. But now, what role does SV play in the grand scheme of this battle for the lead? Because he is now giving Alan J a lick of dirty air. He is not in the academy of either one of these three cars, so he can do whatever he wants, realistically. But we expect him to pit pretty soon here in the next couple laps, but Alan J should be able to get this move done pretty quickly. With a lot of ERS here, and the DRS activated. Easy move for Alan J. And now SV in between Alan J and Fusion. Fusion goes for a late dive to the inside of SV. He needs this move done now. And he's got the place. Fusion gets ahead of SV. And now Maxwell, late defensive maneuver from SV. Maxwell gets the inside, giving him a little bit of shoving through turn four, showing his disapproval of that late defensive maneuver. JTK, by the way, got past Wilson too for P8. JTK moves up to place. Jack Miles gets past Armchair Bike. That's for P11. Jack continuing his charge to try and score points here. All the while, Trat Racer still leads for Williams at the front of this field. Yet to stop though. But a safety car would completely mix things up here. That would give Trat Racer and Torn Penguin a 1-2, which is exactly how Night Owl won this race a season ago. But Alan trying to hold the lead. We're past halfway at this point of the race. Lap 17 of 29. And Alan J trying to be the big spoiler to win for Ferrari, trying to take a win, which only two teams have won this season. McLaren have won them all, except for one, and it was the opening round. But Fusion trying to continue winning ways for McLaren. This time he goes to the outside of turn one. He's going to try and hang it all the way around, which becomes the inside for turn two. Fusion has the DRS. But the ERS levels are not looking good for Fusion at all. He has to hang it around the outside of turn 4 as well. Can he get it done? Still going wheel to wheel now, and Fusion's through. Fusion takes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix once again. Alan falls into second place. Maxwell now runs third. He still runs third as JTK, who had just passed Lucas Rasmussen, gets a 3-second penalty. He's had a great recovery drive, but that'll undo all of his progress, and that will put him in a net P8 right now. Trat Racer is pitted. Torn Penguin is pitted. They should be able to get to the end of the race on those medium tires. And on much fresher mediums, Trat Racer could make a run for a potential top 5 here, which could turn into a top 4. SV's still yet to stop, so there is that at play. And a bit of battling here with Torn Penguin and Jack MS. Jack MS had a good opening stint of this race, but it was all undone because of the 10-second penalty from lap 1. And it looks like he is going to fall to P10 here. Looking for a move. We have a spin at the back. And a move for the lead of the race. LNJ and Lateral Fusion. Banging wheels through turn 1. Into turn 2 we go. Alan and Fusion giving it everything at the front of this field. Fusion, with the DRS though, should be able to stay ahead of the Ferrari driver. Into turn 4 we go. Fusion stays in the lead of this race. But for how much longer can Alan J also continue to fight against Maxwell behind him? He is on older tires too. You have to think about that. Can he make them last all the way to the end of this race? He should be able to, but we have a DNF. It's Yava's, a pit lane retirement. Him and Meltz are the only 2 retirements of the day. Unfortunate for those 2. Pavlazin finally comes into the pits at the back of the field. And meanwhile, bit of a DRS train forming here. Trap Racer got past Wilson for P6. Trap Racer trying to get by the 2 Mercedes now of JTK and Lucas Rasmussen. What a day he has been having. Led lots of laps. What you absolutely love to see. And what you don't love to see is Alan J losing DRS to Lateral Fusion here. Fusion's laid down an absolute gauntlet, but unfortunately for him, Alan was just barely ahead in the detection point, which will give him DRS and suck him right back into Fusion's gearbox. It went from about 9/10 to 1/10 as they go into turn 1. Incredible stuff there. Torn Penguin sets the fastest lap of the race of a 1:30.1. But here we go. Alan J still looking for the move that would give him the lead of this race back. 10 laps to go here as Trap Racer goes by Lucas Rasmussen for 5th place as he now tries to get past JTK for 4th. Absolute scenes if Trap Racer could beat both Mercedes drivers. Could potentially be looking at getting a possible ban from Tier 2 with how good his pace has been. I don't think that'll be the case, but it's been incredible as SV passes Dylan for P11. Jack now sits in 10th place. Good drive for him. And Armchair Bike gets himself a 3-second penalty, as does Ryan Ocon. Couple penalties being handed out there as Trap Racer goes by JTK to take 4th place in this race. What a day he has had in the Williams. Fantastic drive from him. And 4th place, unless these guys have a big accident, it looks like 4th might be where he finishes. 6.5 seconds away as we go to lap 21. 9 laps to go here in this race. And Alan J has officially lost DRS to Lateral Fusion, which is all Maxwell needs to go for a move into 2nd place. Down the inside into turn 1. A bit of a front lockup, but he's gotten ahead of Alan J. Maxwell through into 2nd place, and he gets a 2nd dose of DRS for being a 2nd from Fusion. Late defensive maneuver there from Maxwell, but he's got the place locked in. Incredible stuff there from ERM Maxwell. Mally 41 fights his way past Dylan to get into 12th place for him. Meanwhile, the DRS train continuing between Trap Racer and the 2 Mercedes. Torn Penguin gets past teammate Wilson for P7. Lots of battling all around the racetrack right now, but the 2 McLarens separated by 1.1 seconds. Not really what they want here. 5.7 seconds also the gap between Alan J and Trap Racer. It is not entirely out of the question of a podium, but he needs to find a little bit more time per lap here. We'll see what the lap times look like at the end of the lap. See if he's really gaining enough. 5.7 still the gap. And Maxwell's lost a couple tenths to Fusion. So Fusion finally has the gap he wants. Alan J looking for a move on Maxwell. And he's through. Alan J back into 2nd place. Maxwell back down to 3rd. Just when he thought he can try to challenge his teammate for the lead, he's been overtaken again by the Ferrari, which the more they battle, the better chance Strat Racer has of catching them. 5.5 the gap. Not gaining enough, in my opinion, though. And into the pits comes Jack Miles. He is on a two-stop strategy, as I predicted, which will put SV up into P10, Melly 41 in P11, Dylan 12. Maxwell, by the way, has got past Alan J, who spins! Alan J's had a spin, and he's lagged out! What has happened to Alan J? I'll see if I can get him in here. I think I have him added. Absolutely tragic from Alan J. Internet problems strike at the worst possible moment, and they take him out of the fight for the podium and for potential even points, which means Strat Racer now runs third in this race. Strat Racer runs third for Williams. They look for their first podium since Saudi season 12 or 11, whatever one it was, I don't remember. Alan J rejoins, too little too late. Absolutely tragic for Alan J. I absolutely hate to see it. Now down in 9th place. Torn Penguin and Lucas Rasmussen, they go wheel to wheel. Through goes Penguin up into 5th place. He is not out of this fight just yet either. If he can catch up to JTK, he can challenge Strat Racer for the podium. And into the pits comes Alan J's Ghost as well. That only makes matters worse for him. That'll drop him out of the points as well. That absolutely sucks for Alan J. But this is looking incredible for Williams. A podium, 15 points to their name, would put them on 33 points. And with all their closest rivals not scoring either, this could be looking incredible for them. Goes back, bit of a, not really a DRS train, but cars running close to each other. Ardell trying to catch Jack Miles, who has just pitted for mediums. Only real battle here, we got Strat Racer and JTK, but JTK with a 3-second penalty, not aiding his chances. But a Williams podium would propel them up into 5th in the Constructors' Championship easily. That would mean RB, hey, they're not going to score points here. Alpine, not looking like they'll score points. Aston Martin have both cars in the points. P9, P10, good day for them so far. That would put them tied with Alpine on the points board. But I believe Alpine would get that on countback, so Aston Martin looking like they will sit in they will stay 9th in the Constructors. Sauber still 10th, only 3 points to their name, and they both run to the back of the field, so unlikely that will happen. JTK, though, still chasing them down. Towards the back, though, Armchair Bike and Ardell going wheel to wheel. Into the pits comes Alan J. I'm expecting a retirement, and there it is. Alan J. retires from this race as Armchair Bike gets ahead of Ardell to go up into 13th place as he tries to get up towards Jack, but that is going to be unlikely as Jack is on fresher medium tires. And Ryan Ocon pits as well. Couldn't make the one-stop work. He has to make a second pit stop. 3 seconds between the two McLarens, and then another 3 seconds to Strat Racer in 3rd. And Torn Penguin not really gaining enough. He is not gaining enough to get into this fight for P4, but he will still take P4 off of penalties as it stands. JTK with a 3-second, not helping him right now, which is also keeping him out of this podium fight, which sucks for him. The Tier 2 champion would love to get a first podium on this game cycle. Unfortunately, he's going to have to wait a little bit longer as Strat Racer, who has had an incredible run of form since he rejoined, looking at another podium for Williams. He won for them at Monaco in Tier 3 a couple weeks back, and now he's looking at a Tier 2 podium. What pace he has, Strat Racer. as we go on to lap 25 of this race. Not too much happening at the moment other than that. But we do have the two Saubers going wheel to wheel at the back of the field. Maddie against Pavlizin. P15 between these two. They're basically on an island by themselves. Let's see if Pavlizin can get the move back done on his teammate. I don't think so. He's got absolutely no battery. Sauber getting a little bit of TV time here at the end of this race. Being one of the only battles on track. Here's Pavlizin late braking on Maddie, but that's not going to work. He'll get DRS, but he's going to be too far away from his teammate to go for a move. Maddie officially has 15th place in this Grand Prix. Everybody else pretty much running their own races at this point. JTK unlikely to go for a move on Strat Racer, who has absolutely no battery. But despite that, they are still gaining on Torn Penguin, who is now 2.5, 2.6 seconds away. He's had a good race today, P5. Nothing to slough about, but it's been a good day for him. P6 for Lucas Rasmussen. Solid drive for him. Wilson, respectable P7 as it currently stands. Jack MS will think what it could have been for him. He was looking good before the 10-second penalty that he had to serve at the pit stop pretty much killed his race. Only 8th for him. And the two Aston Martins have had themselves a good day. P9, P10. Dylan is going to be under pressure from Jack momentarily as Ardell speeds in the pits. That'll do it for him. Move the Saubers up another place. But Jack, not entirely out of the question of stealing a point off Mally 41 here. It is still possible he could pull this off. Been a good day for him. Of course, unorthodox two-stop strategy might end up benefiting him as Ardell pits for the soft tires. Could be going for fastest lap. As Fusion is about to cross the line on lap 27, which means we will not see a safety car in this race. All we saw was a VSC early on in the early stages of this race. And that's all we'll get as Jack Miles breezes past Dylan for P11 as he tries to chase down Mally. 3 OGs of RPL. The Tier 1 Season 2 champion, Mally 41. Of course, obviously an RPL icon of his own. Tier 3 coordinator, Jack Miles. The defending Tier 1 champion, that is to be said. Winner of the championship in Season 12. And obviously an RPL icon, being here since almost the very beginning. And Dylan, who has been there since race number 1, as he runs out of battery. All three of these guys have historic RPL careers. But the RPL of today has Laryl Fusion running up front. And another longtime RPL driver of Aaron Maxwell running in second place. It's been a great run for him this season. Of course, he'd love to have had more than one win, but not much you can really do about that. 2 laps to go and 2 seconds away. It would take a big mistake from Laryl Fusion for him to lose this race. Which we've seen those mistakes before. Maxwell, of course, heartbreakingly lost the Hungarian Grand Prix after having a spin and a crash out of turn 4. But he still recovered to finish in second place, which was an incredible run from him. But 2 laps to go now. JTK still playing the defense game in case Torn Penguin catches them, which is looking unlikely. Jack Miles now only 1.9 seconds away from Mally 41. Looking good for him. Heading into turn 12. Mally is going to be checking his mirrors more and more often. He's got 2 laps to hold on to a car with basically 10 lap fresher tires. Doesn't look like Mally's going to be able to hold on to this point. I know he wants it, but looks like Jack is going to be taking this one as Torn Penguin gets a 3-second penalty. That's big for JTK, which means he's going to hold on to 4th place here, which is a great recovery drive considering he was at worst like P16 when he got spun out in turn 8. So fantastic day for him to recover all the way up to P4. But of course, he would have wanted a podium, and it's unfortunately not going to happen today. As Mally and Jack are going to go wheel to wheel Gonna witness two RPL greats here battling for the final points paying position. Jack should be able to easily get this move done though. In the V-carb, we go on board with him. We go into the double left on turns 9 and 10 as Laryl Fusion will cross the line to start the final lap, sponsored by Louis Vuitton. And it's been a day to remember for Laryl Fusion. Of course, locked out the championship today by default of his two opponents not showing up, as Jack still looking for the move here on Melly. He's got a full battery. Both of these drivers have full batteries to attack this final lap of the Grand Prix. Jack running right on the back of him. And defensive driving from Mally. He's almost mirror driving it into the final corner. But onto the long pit straight. It's gonna be the move for Jack Miles. Up into P10, contact made. A bit cheeky from Jack Miles. Wilson gets a penalty. But Jack is through on Mally, and Mally almost loses the car. Almost off the road he goes. But we go to Laryl Fusion. A champion's drive for the champion of Tier 2. He beat Alex Norris to the championship in Tier 3 at the end of F124. And now he has run almost unopposed to the championship of Tier 2. Laryl Fusion, through the final corner we go. It's gonna be a championship and a win for Laryl Fusion, who is the champion of Tier 2 Season 18 officially. Laryl Fusion wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Maxwell second, and give it up for Trat Racer. Podium for Williams. Incredible stuff from him. JTK fourth, Penguin fifth, Rasmussen sixth, Wilson seventh, Jack MS P8, SV will finish ninth. Jack Miles, he's gonna get the final point as well. Congratulations to Jack. Great drive from him. Absolutely love to see it. But Laryl Fusion, the winner of the race, and the winner of Tier 2 Season 18. An absolute champion's drive from the McLaren driver who locks out the championship. Of course, it was very anticlimactic, but he got it done. He won the most races of anybody, and that is a champion defined. Maxwell second place, and Trat Racer, what a job to finish on the podium for Williams. Their first podium since Owen pulled it off at Saudi Arabia a lot of seasons ago. Fair play to him. And an incredible drive for Williams, who is easily my driver of the day. Trat Racer P3 for Williams. A close second to JTK, who had a fantastic recovery to finish in fourth place. But at the top, it's the winner of the race and our champion, Laryl Fusion. He pulls it off to become our champion. Fusion wins, Penguin fastest lap. The game gives Maddie driver of the day, JTK most overtakes, cleanest driver, Trat Racer, and Trat Racer is easily my driver of the day. That is an easy choice for me, but it's a win for Fusion. He has gotten very used to the feeling of winning races, and he wins another one here in Bahrain. His fifth win of Tier 2 Season 18. 5 wins in 8 races. Almost untouchable, Laryl Fusion. Maxwell P2. Trat Racer, an insane podium for Williams. Some incredible drives up and down the field today. Jack Miles on a 2-stop manages to pick up a point off of Mally on the last lap. SV, a great result for Aston Martin to get P9. But Williams will move up into 5th place in the Constructors' Championship with an almost out-of-nowhere podium. And he got that off pure pace with just a VSC to help him, which pretty much neutralized everybody. Nobody really pitted or benefited from it. So That is a pure merit podium for Track Racer, and well-deserved. What a fantastic drive he had. And I thank all of you for joining us here in Tier 2 Season 18. The championship has been wrapped up with 2 rounds to spare. McLaren looks set to take the Constructors as well. But make sure you join us for the final 2 races of the season. I'm sure there's bound to be thrills and spills along the way. Make sure to have some fun with us for the final 2 races. Tier 2 goes to Qatar for the Qatar Grand Prix, which is the first time RPL has gone to Qatar this game cycle. So it should be an exciting race. And then they'll end the season in Abu Dhabi. Tier 3 has a mystery track coming up next week. So it'll be very fun to see what track is selected by probably either by vote or a mystery wheel. Whichever one is decided. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun with that. And Tier 1 tomorrow, make sure you join us for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Always a track that delivers action. And if you remember last season's race, which saw one of the most action-packed final 6 laps in the entire history of RPL Tier 1, you definitely don't want to miss one of the highlight races of the RPL season. So make sure you join us for tomorrow's stream. But for today, we congratulate Laurel Fusion for being the Tier 2 champion of Season 18. Thank you all for watching RPL Tier 2 this season, and we hope you join us for the final 2 races of the season. Thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you soon.